Geoff Walker has been a professional musician for 25 years and is the leader and musical director of the award-winning Ambassador Band. He also runs Like It Live, a boutique entertainment agency providing first-class entertainment in both the UK and internationally. I chatted to Geoff about working through COVID-19 and what he is doing to drive his business through the current situation and out the other side. Geoff, welcome. Lovely to see you. For those people who aren't aware of who you are and what you do, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
So my name's Geoff Walker. I live in Guildford in Surrey, and I run a band called Ambassador Band. I also run a company called Like It Live Music as well as that. I'm an active musician. I'm a drummer, first and foremost, and I'm also band leader and musical director within the band.
Great. So no drummer jokes today then. I'll make a note of that.
Don't dare.
How did you come to be in the wedding industry?
To be honest, it wasn't something that I woke up one morning and said, well, I'm going to set up a band and then we're going to play at weddings. It was never that, I moved down south. I think I tried to add this up the other day. I think it was 17 years ago to do a degree in music. And I started setting the band up straight away at that point, and it was never to do weddings, if I'm honest with you. We wanted to play, funk, soul music, and we started playing, stuff places like the Jazz Cafe in Reading, and we did soul weekenders and stuff like that. And when we were rehearsing, some of the, one in particular, tutor at the ACM where I studied, said, you guys should do some function work. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, weddings and someone found us through that website and said, we saw you at the Soul Weekend. It was at Butlins, actually, Butlins Soul Weekend. Could you come and do our wedding? And we're like, yeah, we did it. And then it was just a snowball effect off the bat. Actually playing at the wedding itself, it was great. The fed us, and they were really nice, and we didn't have to encourage them to dance. They just danced. So it was a great experience. And I just think, just thought, wow, let's go down this, this rabbit hole as such. And we, off the back of that, we started doing, obviously, corporates and other awards nights and things. But yeah, that's how it started. It was by default, really, if I'm honest.
You've done hundreds of weddings, obviously. Do you have any favourite moments at a wedding that you're allowed to tell me about?
Loads, to be honest with you. I'll give you two, though. So we did a wedding, I think it was about 2 years ago now, up at Braxted Park in Essex. And I tend to build up quite a good relationship with the brides and grooms. I have a lot of contact with them, and a lot of planning with the music side and sound systems and so on and so forth. This particular bride, she was salt of the earth, lovely lady, and so was the groom as well. I remember at the end of the night when we finished playing, she came up to us and she was crying, like I don't mean just like a little tear in her eye, I mean like really crying. And I was like, you okay? She's like, you're so good, you've made my night. And she wouldn't stop, and I don't mean just a little cry. I had a full conversation with her, and she was still crying, and I was like, I've got to go now. And she cried with joy. Yeah. I've never seen anything like that before. She was just so happy that she cried. So that's one. And the other one was playing Let's Get Ready to Rumble by Ant & Dec for a first dance. The bride, she was actually she actually coordinated the original dance for Ant & Dec back in the day. Okay. So she made her poor husband do the full dance for their first dance, and we played it. That was hilarious. I hardly play the drums for laughing. You can imagine she was great, and he was just going along with it because he had to. So yeah.
That is a special first dance for sure. That is fantastic. We love to hear a first dance story. It's good to hear. So tell us. Sorry, I'm just trying to picture that. I'm trying to have that in my head, and it's not working in my head. Tell us about your business now. What is it that you focus on, particularly within the wedding industry, with the gigs that you have in the wedding industry?
Always on the quality. I always try as hard as I can to make sure that the quality of what we do and is as best it can be all the time. I think it needs to be, especially in the wedding market, because you're dealing with someone's, you know, the most happiest day of their life, as such. So yeah, quality, everything from obviously how we sound, the repertoire we have, adding to the repertoire, keeping up to date, not getting stagnant, I think is a key. Constantly evolving and progressing to new levels. The way we look, the clothes we wear, I think is paramount. Obviously, you know, you're performing at weddings and stuff, you know, other events similar, and you need to look like the other people at the wedding. So yeah, beyond that, I think customer service, everyone has to have a great product. That's a given. You know, you have to have the product. It needs to be great, and you know. But beyond that, brides and grooms want amazing customer services. They don't want to wait 5 days to have a reply to their email. They want it within 24 hours, if not the same day as they've emailed. And obviously, I have found that over the years. So I do try my hardest. Well, I do answer all emails or calls and or reply to them within the same day. Sometimes it means I end up working late, and you know, it's peaks and troughs, isn't it? But yeah, I think customer service and the lead up to the big day is beyond the product itself, is the main factor.
Great. Good to know. I mean, you're right. It's so important, that connection. We work in a very sociable business where it's all about relationships with our clients, so much more so, I think, than many other businesses. And that attention to detail on that service provision is so important. So I can absolutely see where that would be your focus. Doing what you do, getting the balance right between your personal life and your business life must be really tricky. Obviously, late nights, on the road a lot. How have you managed that balance over the years?
This is actually a really good question, because it's something that I've had to learn to do, if I'll be honest. I sometimes forget what time it is in the day. I honestly do. You know, it could be 6 o'clock at night and I'm still in the office, and I could be here at 10 o'clock. You know, my wife sometimes brings me my lunch and my dinner down, and I'll eat it in my office, which isn't great. I know that, but some days it just has to be done. But a few years ago, my older brother, he works in a high profile, demanding role in a London job, and he said, Geoff, you need to take a day off a week. You have to take a day off to just recharge, just let your mind get away from work. And I was like, but sometimes it's so hard, actually, you know, you know, the stuff that needs to be done and my mind's in it. And he says, you know, it's going to be there. Write a few post-it notes and take a day off. Now, with obviously what we do, you never know what that day is going to be. You can't say, oh, I'm going to take a Sunday off, because I actually work a lot of Sundays in the Jewish, Asian, you know, markets. So every now and again in the you know, the early months of the year, you might get a Saturday off or whatever. So I have to plan ahead, and when I know I've got a day off on a weekend, I'll make sure I take it off, spend it with the family. You have to do that. Holidays as well, whether it's in the UK, you know, whether it's just going out to Christchurch for a big camping for the weekend, or you know, school holidays. If you've got family, it's just to, you know, plan in time, quality time. I don't think there's ever a day gone past the last 10 years that I haven't done an email. I'll be honest with you. Apart from Christmas Day, there's all, you know, but you have to scale it down. Say, listen, I'm just going to do half an hour. I'm just going to, you know, answer these couple of questions and I'm done. And then just put an out of office on. You have to have that bit time. You know, the work isn't going to go away, and your clients will understand. If I'm going on holiday, I generally phone all my clients for 3 months ahead of me going on holiday and say, listen, I'm going to go on holiday. Everything's in place, you know. You know, I'll be back in 10 days. If you need us, drop us an email. I'll answer it here. But, you know, ideally, please don't. just for 10 days. So that, and I think doing some kind of fitness is really good for the mind. And this doesn't have to be anything intense, you know, just going for a walk. I tend to try and do something on a morning. I'll do a school run with my oldest daughter, and then try and do a half an hour bike ride, or go to the gym. I'll not lie, I don't get to do it every day, but I try to do it 3 times a week. Just more so to condition my mind as opposed to anything else. So, I do work a lot. I do a lot of emails, a lot of calls, a lot of meetings, and a lot of gigging. But yeah, I've had to try and balance it. You know, at the end of the day, without family, you're nothing, are you? So, and they are the most important thing. Whether it's your wife or your kids or your brother, your mum, your dad, your sisters, whatever. Family is important. So you need to get that balance, and you need to have family time.
One of the ironic things is you're so busy because you're in control of your time. You can be that busy, but equally you're in control of the time, so you can step away and do the exercise and take some time off as well. So I think it's really wise advice, and really important to have that balance. And I think lots of wedding industry professionals don't necessarily strike that right balance because they're hungry. They want to chase the business and they need to get the work done. And that's not an easy thing to balance out. So it comes with time and experience. And you guys, you've been around long enough to know that how important it is. Otherwise, before you know it, your kids have grown up and you don't even know who they are, right? So
absolutely.
It's wise. We haven't yet talked about the elephant in the room, the situation that is now affecting all of us in every aspect of life, not just in business. Coronavirus, of course, and COVID-19. I'm really interested to know how it's affected you personally, but also your business. So yeah, please tell us all about that.
I don't know whether I mentioned this, but I've had the virus. Yeah, I lived in here in this office. I've got a sofa bed over there, and this is me. I'm at the bottom of the garden here. It's my studio and stuff, and I lived in here for 15 nights. Never went in the house. But the worst thing was at the same time as that happened, my phone and the emails never stopped. It went berserk. So I'm literally sitting in this chair that I'm in now. But I after it happened, I disinfected the whole office. But I was sitting like I am here now, just having to work, like with a bucket next to us. And honestly, it was horrendous. And obviously, that first 2 weeks, everyone who we had weddings coming up the following weekend. I put myself in a position over the years, built myself in a position where I'm in complete control of what I do. I've got the answers for everything. I work long and hard, but like I'm never in a situation where I'm scratching my head because I built myself in a position where I can answer the questions. I can give clients what they want, and there's always a solution. Do you know what I mean? In these situations, we're in totally unventured territory. Do you know what I mean? It was like you're sitting thinking, "Oh God, what do I do?" We all want to come up with this with our heads high and be ready for business, which I will. But I'll not lie. It hugely affected us. The work stopped. We had a summer ahead. It was amazing, and I think 85% of our year's bookings have gone. There's still some sitting there, but I guess most of them are going to go as well at some point. It's been terrible. No one was prepared for this, and I had a little bit of a backup in the business account, luckily, which was actually meant for some more promo. But that's kind of got us by because the marketing doesn't stop, the insurances don't stop. The van insurance and stuff like that, it still needs to be paid. So there's money in the business account. It's like there's a little bit of money in there, but it's been spent with nothing coming in. So it's really hard, and I feel sorry for some businesses that are just starting out that haven't got anything in the business account as such, because the likelihood is that they won't survive it. I hope they do, but yeah, it's been so hard. So I don't have any answers to say, how you get through this or what's the best thing. We all came into this, and it's like it's all new territory for us all, isn't it?
Even people like yourself who are really successful, have an incredible reputation, are struggling with this and are doing their best to muddle through it, because what else can you do? Yeah,
it's been really tricky. I think the answer is, and this is hard, is to be as positive as you can. Just gather your gusto and plough on forward. If we can get through 2020, we're going to be good. As long as there's no second wave and we can get through 2020, I think 2021 is going to have the most weddings in 1 year ever on record.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's about looking forward to beyond this and putting in place things now that will help the business go forwards and drive forward through this and out the other side, because the wedding industry still exists, right? There are couples who still want to get married. There's people who got engaged last weekend, let's say, who are now planning their wedding for 2021. I guess the biggest challenge that the industry has faced is this postponement, which, whilst it's great that weddings are being delayed rather than lost, finding availability is tricky. So the positivity here, if there is any, and I know it's tough and I know it's not for everybody, but it's not business lost, it's business delayed. And that is different to lots of other industries. If you run a restaurant or a pub, you've lost business. For us, the couples involved still want to get married. It's just a question of when. So fingers crossed that you can accommodate those ones still left on your books. And the same applies to everybody else who might be listening out there. It's very, very difficult to manage the situation. It's unprecedented is the word that keeps getting used, because it is. No one's been here before. So it's a real challenge. What are the main things that you've been doing as a band leader, as a musical director, to help keep your band and your brand moving along, going forwards, ready for business when it's back up and running?
I've always kept on top of Facebook. We've been doing it for years. And we've got Instagram as well, but I never really got stuck into Instagram, because it just kind of, we were busy anyway and everything was just ticking along, and we had people like on there. And I posted stuff on Instagram, but I never really put any effort into getting more followers or anything like that. But I have done these last few weeks. I thought, you know what? The main reason, because I never had time in the past as such. Beyond that, is, if you've got any websites, now's the time to change your wording a bit, make it look a bit more inviting, just the stuff that you don't have time to really get stuck into when you because this time of year normally we're like chasing our tails, aren't we? One event to the next and emails, but instead of doing anything beyond that, I think use this time wisely to do a good old tidy up, have a spring clean. That's what beyond taking the bookings and shifting stuff for next year. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we've anecdotally and through the surveys that we've been doing with wedding suppliers over the last few months, we know that that's the top thing that people are doing, is using the time that none of us ever have to do some business housekeeping. Look at our marketing strategy, all the costs that are involved in that, of course. And it's important to keep driving through marketing. You have to market yourselves. Just
absolutely.
But also, website, blog, all sorts of things, so that gets done, because normally we don't have the time. I want to take you back a few years now to when you first got involved with the Wedding Industry Awards. And I'm really interested to know what it was that attracted you to the awards in the first place, why you entered in the first place.
One of our past clients
nominated.
Nominated us. Yeah, sorry. Nominated us. So I got an email, so you've been nominated to the Wedding Industry Awards. So I was like, oh, look at that. I was like, well, this looks good. All right. So that'd be great for business, wouldn't it? I instantly thought that. So I entered. Not thinking a massive amount of it at the time, because I didn't know anything about it, And then obviously, as I got to know more, and that year I was like, do you know what? I really want to win this. So you put the effort in, and that was how I got involved originally. Yeah. And obviously we won the regional round that year, the year we entered, which obviously was a great buzz in itself. The awards nights are great. It's great nights. So when your name gets read out, it's like kidding and again. So and then as I say, we got highly commended that year as well. So after that, I was like, wow, we were so close to winning. I said to Kelly, my wife, I says, I have to win this award. I have to win it. So that year, not that we don't put the effort in all at the time anyway, but I just, with all the reviews and the feedback, I just really went to town on with the, getting our clients to vote for us and really, spill the hearts as such. And then we went and won the next year. So yeah.
How did those TWEA awards impact your business?
A lot, to be honest with you. because obviously you've got the directory that's linked to the website, and we got quite a few inquiries straight away from people saying congratulations in the email. Oh, congratulations on winning the award. We're getting married next year, like so on and so forth. So yeah, it definitely produced business and throughout that year and beyond. To be honest with you, one of the great things by having obviously the winner's badge on, I've got it on my email. See when I reply, I think it just puts confidence in brides and grooms to know that you must be half decent if you've won the award. So yeah, it's great, and it's great to drop in a conversation if people actually don't know you've won the award. Brides want their perfect wedding, and they, with every supplier, they want to know who's coming to do their wedding. It can be trusted 100%, and they haven't got to worry about it. So I think winning the award and having that badge and it just put people's minds at rest.
No, it's great. I'm glad, and I think that was always our aim, was to give that kite mark of that stamp of approval that helps you market your business, but also helps brides and grooms or anyone organising a wedding make a good decision when they're booking, and a confident decision and trust in their suppliers. So I'm really glad that it's had that effect. So, Geoff, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Be patient. Be a bit more patient. Yeah, that basically Rome wasn't built in a day. I think when you're young and you're full of zest and you try to push things as hard and fast as you can, and sometimes things just can't be pushed. They just it needs to evolve over time. It's good to be eager. It's good to be. We wouldn't run our own businesses if we weren't like that. But yeah, I think we'll just be a bit more patient. It takes years. It does. You ain't going to get all the gigs you want off of Google AdWords. You're not. It's reputation, and then rebookings, and this one saying to that one, book this band, the great, or someone who's seen you at another wedding. It's the same as anything. It's reputation and building, and that's it basically. So it'll just be we'll be chill out a bit more.
Yeah, I think you're right, but it's that it takes time to build, because you have to go through the sort of annual cycle of the wedding industry, certainly from the wedding bookings point of view, and the recommendation, the word of mouth that drives the industry is absolutely key, and that only comes, someone sees you at a wedding, you're going to get a booking maybe for the following year. So there's a cyclic element to this, and it just takes time.
It takes years for that to roll on. I'm not saying to anyone give up. Don't. But it's going to be the same for any new business within this market, I would think, especially if you're working at a certain level of the market as well. People want trust. They want to hear stories. They want to know firsthand that you are what your website says you are. Do you know what I mean? So,
Geoff, thank you so much for just an insight into what it's been like for you over the last few months and years as you've built and grown your business. I can't wish you enough sort of future success, and I just hope that pretty soon you'll be up on that stage rocking those crowds as you always do. Best wishes to you and your family, and I hope business recovery is strong for you in the future. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Damian. Same to you. All the best.